Good afternoon. We are looking at possibly the first real challenging topic of the year because it involves trigonometry again. So we're going to be looking at the sine and cosine rules. Okay, the sine and cosine rules look at triangles, and they tend to look at triangles that are not right-angled. Okay, the sine and cosine rules can all be found in the formulae. They're formulae that can be found in the formula page of the exam. So that front page, you get all these formulas. You just have to know when to use them, and they are used with non-right-angled triangles. Okay. Please don't forget your other trigonometry, though. So although we're using sine and cosine rules, we tend to use them with non-right-angled triangles. Don't forget all the trigonometry that we did last year on right-angled triangles. That is still important, and you should still know it. And you have to be able to apply right-angled triangle trigonometry as well as the sine and cosine rules on non-right-angled triangles. So here are the formulas that you get. This is what the formula booklet will look like. We have the sine rule here, a bit of an ominous thing. We have the cosine rule, again another ominous thing. And the area of a triangle can be written like this. Okay? But please note, you can still use area as a half base times height. You don't have to use this formula if it's not applicable, but it will occasionally be applicable, and we'll look at cases where it is. Okay, all the letters in these formula relate to the triangle that I've drawn. Okay, so the triangle is also in the formula sheet. Now, the labelling of the triangle is very important. So you can see that the small letters to represent the side lengths always are opposite the angles of the same letter. So B is opposite B, C is opposite C, and A is opposite A. Something else to note, which we'll look at in probably a later video, is that this rule, although you don't get given it in this form, you could rewrite it as sine A over A is equal to sine B over B is equal to sine C over C. So we can write this rule in this way. Right, we're going to go straight into some questions. So we have this triangle, and we've been given this angle and these two sides. And the question says, calculate the area of the triangle. Okay, now I want you to maybe pause this video and just see if you could work it out using what you know, and then we'll talk about it. Okay, so the first stage to doing questions like this, okay, is to decide if the examiner is being, you can decide a different word, but as being a meanie, okay? Some expletive would also be appropriate. And in this question, they usually are. If you see the letters A, B, and C, they're usually being mean. Okay. The reason they're being mean is because the letters they've given you don't relate to the letters in the formulas from the previous part. Okay. Next, having decided whether they're being mean or not, and if they have the letters A, B, and C, they probably are. What we need to do is we need to re-sketch and/or relabel the triangle so that it looks like the formula we want. Okay, so the formula we want, well, we know we're looking at an area of the triangle, and we're going to use a half AB sine C for this. The reason we're using this formula and not half base times height is because we don't have any heights and we can't work them out easily. But we can use this formula. Now, the angle we've been given is angle B, but that's not in the formula. The angle we're using in the formula is this angle here, angle C. So we're going to change, we're going to resketch the triangle, and where there's a big B, we're going to change that to the letter C. Okay, and then we want A and B in the formula, so we could write A and B as the two sides next to the angle C. That means that the top angle must be angle B because it's opposite that side, and this angle is angle A. Now all I've done is re-sketch the diagram but change the labelling. The labelling, it doesn't matter what the labelling is, it's arbitrary. The only thing that is important is that sides are opposite their corresponding angles. So I'm filling in these numbers from the question. Okay, so now we're going to use the area formula, the area is equal to a half AB sine C, and perhaps you can pause the video and use the numbers in this re-sketched triangle to see if you can come up with the correct answer. So when we do this, we get half times 11.7 times 28.3 times by sine of 67, and then you do this in your calculator and you should get 152.4. And I've written centimetres squared there, but of course it's actually metres squared. Okay, and we're going to add this little note here. So note that the labelling is arbitrary. What I mean by that is it doesn't matter what I label as being C, A and B. It's not that important. That's why I'm allowed to relabel the triangle like this. Okay, so I think we will stop this video here, and I'll create 2 new videos for the next 2 videos. We'll be doing lots of practice of these types of questions in lessons, so you might need to re-watch this video since this is such a new concept. It's not like the other concepts we've been doing which you've done before.